The rescue pod crashed through the canopy of Verdana 7 like a meteor, leaving a trail of smoke and shattered branches. Inside, Elsa gripped the emergency harness, her knuckles white as the pod tumbled end over end before slamming into the forest floor. When the world stopped spinning, she kicked open the hatch and stumbled out coughing. The air was breathable, barely. Her ship, the Horizon's Promise, was gone, vaporized by the Crixian ambush 3 hours ago. She was alone on an unmapped world, and according to her scanner, she had company. The Crixians found her before nightfall. They were a savage species, barely past their industrial age, but cunning enough to salvage crashed vessels. 6 of them emerged from the undergrowth, their scaled bodies hunched forward, eyes gleaming with predatory intelligence. The largest one, covered in ritual scars, pointed a crude plasma rifle at her chest. Elsa raised her hands slowly. "I'm unarmed. I just need—" The butt of a rifle slammed into her stomach. She collapsed, gasping. They bound her wrists with metal cables and attached them to the rear of a heavy ground vehicle, something they'd clearly cobbled together from salvaged parts. The engine roared to life, belching black smoke. Elsa's heart hammered as she realized their intention. "Wait, you don't have to—" The vehicle lurched forward. Elsa hit the ground hard, dragged through dirt and rocks as the Crixians laughed. Pain exploded across her body with every bump, every sharp stone. She tried to dig her heels in, but the vehicle was too powerful. Blood streaked the ground behind her. Human durability was legendary in the wider galaxy, but there were limits. Elsa felt those limits approaching fast. Then she heard another engine. Arthur had been tracking the Crixian raiding party for 2 days. The former colonial marine had been prospecting in the outer rim when he picked up Elsa's distress beacon. Now crouched in the tree line, he watched through his rifle scope as they dragged her behind their vehicle. His jaw clenched. He'd seen Crixian brutality before. They called themselves hunters. But they were nothing more than scavengers who preyed on the weak. They hadn't met many humans. Arthur's vehicle, a heavily modified all-terrain rover he'd nicknamed Bertha, sat hidden behind a ridge. He'd reinforced her frame with salvaged hull plating and upgraded the engine to military specifications. She wasn't pretty, but she was powerful. He activated his comm. "Hang on," he whispered, though Elsa couldn't hear him. "I'm coming." Arthur gunned the engine and Bertha exploded from cover. The Crixians scattered in surprise as the rover barreled toward them. Arthur aimed for the cable connecting Elsa to their vehicle and fired his rifle. The shot was perfect. The cable snapped and Elsa tumbled to a stop. The Crixian driver snarled and spun their vehicle around, accelerating straight at Arthur. The other warriors raised their weapons. Arthur didn't flinch. At the last second, he yanked the wheel, and Bertha's reinforced bumper caught the Crixian vehicle's side. The impact flipped it onto its roof with a thunderous crash. The driver crawled from the wreckage, roaring in fury. Arthur was already out of his rover, moving with practiced efficiency. He dodged a wild plasma shot and closed the distance. His fist connected with the Crixian's jaw with enough force to crack bone. The creature crumpled. The remaining Crixians hesitated. They'd never seen a human move like this, fast, precise, and utterly fearless. Arthur grabbed the unconscious driver and dragged him to the Crixian vehicle. The engine was still running, smoke pouring from the exposed mechanisms. He found their own metal cables and began wrapping them around the driver, securing him to the hot engine block. "You want to drag people?" Arthur's voice was cold. "Let's see how you like it." He activated the vehicle's remote controls, a simple system he'd hacked in seconds, and sent it rolling forward. The unconscious Crixian bounced against the engine, chains rattling. The other warriors watched in horror as their leader was subjected to their own cruel game. Arthur let the vehicle drag him for 50 meters before shutting it down. The message was clear. One of the younger Crixians raised his weapon. Arthur's rifle was already aimed at his chest. "Don't," Arthur said simply. The Crixian looked at his leader, then at Arthur's cold eyes. He lowered his weapon. One by one, the others did the same. They backed away slowly, then turned and fled into the forest. Arthur knelt beside Elsa, cutting through her bonds. Her arms and legs were bloodied, her breathing shallow, but her eyes were open and there was steel in them. "You're late," she rasped. "Traffic," Arthur replied, allowing himself the smallest smile. He lifted her carefully and carried her to Bertha. "Medical kit's in the back. You're going to be fine." The driver?" Elsa asked as Arthur cleaned her wounds. "Alive. Bruised. Probably learned a valuable lesson about empathy. Arthur's expression hardened. They needed to understand that humans don't forget, and we don't forgive cruelty. Elsa winced as he applied synth skin to a deep gash. You think they'll spread the word? I guarantee it. Those cubs just learned why you don't mess with humanity. Arthur finished bandaging her and met her eyes. We take care of our own. Always. As Bertha rumbled away from the scene, carrying them toward safety, the Crixians watched from the shadows. They would tell stories of this day, of the human female who survived being dragged across stone and earth, and the human male who turned their own cruelty back upon them. The galaxy was vast, but word traveled fast, and the message was clear. Humans were not prey. They were protectors, survivors, and when necessary, they were justice itself. Mess with one and you face them all.